Chapter 6 continuation, guys. It's gonna be a quick one. This is part 2 of chapter 7. Okay, so now we're going to the dimensions of the disc. 2.5 meters to 3 meters from the ground, uh, uh, 7 to 10 meters wide. Okay, nothing special on the top part, unless the fact that the top part is a bit more salient. No change in form. Succession of different colors: white, orangey, blue, like a torch, a bit red, dirty granada color, electric blue. The electric blue always on the from the beginning to the end. After the moment that the beings quickly walked in the direction of the UFO, the blue started to turn like it was the light of an ambulance. All of these changes of the light happened on the surface. From the beginning of the observation, they were white, orangey. These several tones didn't diffuse to the outside. The only light that in truth illuminates was situated under the object, which seemed to come from the interior, illuminating a zone between the landing gear and the object. This white light turned off at the moment of liftoff. Between the length of this observation, the object didn't move from the ground, it didn't change shape, there was only the change in colors. The duration of the total observation was about 20 minutes, and Mr. X didn't bring a clock, but he did an estimation due to the lateness that he arrived that day at his place. After some houses nearby, nobody saw anything. The people were interrogated, told that at that time they were watching TV and didn't remember if or if not there was any breaking of the TV. The radio cassettes of the car of Mr. X was working straight after the UFO left. So they were using some kind of electric spiking. I don't know. They were maybe they got into the electric signals, so they must have that capability of reading what the radios are playing, kind of. After this observation, Mr. X and his wife notice that the TV, the radio cassettes, was working. Okay, they told that his wife noticed that after that the okay, so after this observation, the radio started working wrong. It was new. It was new and was playing perfectly, and now it had to heat it up. At the beginning, the emissions were cut, and they had extra noises on the background. After after an examination by a technician, it's looked like after the 7th of January, before that night, there was a cable of that radio that completely melted. Before this date, it was new. Um, so he went to the guarantee because it was new, and the people who sold the car changed that, and they put a neon that was sometimes was doing, was having some incidents because of some the warm point of the antennae and the mass that they used to glue everything. Okay, so everything was working after good, no problems. Notice that the clinician concluded that the repair was strange, and asked the Mr. X what happened, or if it had stopped next to an electric station. The Mr. X didn't answer. Okay, so it's curious that the bad effects that entered the antenna and the transitions of the HF and MF weren't damaged. Viable. Okay, so they're going into the radio and very detailed stuff about the radio. It's not very interesting, but I'll try to summarize for you. The cassette reader was fine. The wavelengths was slightly altered, but that didn't made any distortion, which is normal. It looks like the structure of the transistor was modified. It wasn't very possible to go deep on these problems because Mr. X didn't want to go on details and wanted to be a diagnosis in relation to the car and not to the sighting. There wasn't any resistant that was abnormal. Everything else, the electrical amplifier was fine. The cassette was inside the cassette reader, but it wasn't working. It will be examined rigorously. There was also okay, so they also tried to find the other Belgium driver that also saw the UFO, and the field was also examined. There's still this and this, and I have no memory on my cell phone for everything, so I'm gonna have to do. Okay, so this is the end, guys. There's gonna be another. This was on June. So this is the second sighting of the same guy in 1974.